This brings us to the third quality, undeniable hard work. We all know hard work can be painful. It is easier to enjoy the good things of life than to work hard. It demands your time, it demands your convenience, it demands your energy. I've come to discover that the engine room for the fulfillment of dreams is hard work. Colin Powell, another former United States Secretary of State and a retired four-star general in the United States Army, said, "A dream doesn't become reality through magic. It takes sweat, determination, and hard work." In several countries in Africa, the get-rich-quick syndrome is prevalent and even celebrated. A generation of rent seekers have emerged who are satisfied with being middlemen that take advantage of an imperfect and corrupt system. It is time to shift emphasis from easy money to hard work. Pope Paul VI stated, "All life demands struggle." Those who have everything given to them become lazy, selfish, and insensitive to the real values of life. He goes on to say that the very striving and hard work that we so constantly try to avoid is the major building block in the person we are today. Good character is one of the keys that unlocks the door to greatness. Greatness speaks of the extraordinary. When one is adjudged to be great, it means the person has done what others have not done, or he or she has acted in a way that sets them apart and distinguishes them. The lifestyle of greatness looks and smells different. It takes years of consistently behaving in a distinguishing way, years of doing something significant that marks you. It takes discipline and commitment to a cause. What would you say Mahatma Gandhi and Mother Teresa have in common? I would say their remarkable character and their great deeds. That brings us to the fourth quality. You have to be unmoved by personal gain. Yes, unmoved by personal gain, because another side of corruption is cutting corners, dishonest gains. We must learn to be unmoved by personal gain. We have to run away from the mindset that constantly asks, "What's in it for me?" Greed and dishonesty can cause the loss of lives. Cutting corners is a pervasive disease that can lead to the decay of character. Obsession over the bottom line to keep production costs low can become a dangerous drive to one's ambition. Often individuals and organizations cut corners on the quality of materials used in safety measures in buildings. Take, for instance, the Grenfell Tower fire in West London on the 14th of June 2017. This unfortunately was a deadly result of such cost-cutting measures. Safety tests revealed that the fire spread unnaturally fast because someone decided it was more important to line the walls with inferior materials because it cost less, rather than safekeeping the fate of hundreds of innocent individuals. Unfortunately, and very sadly, at least 80 people died and several hundreds have been rendered homeless. Another disastrous, deadly consequence of deliberate human error was the Deepwater Horizon environmental disaster. I don't know how many of you remember. It was 58 days, 280 million barrels of oil spilled in the Gulf of Mexico on the 28th day of April 2010. Someone high up the British petroleum ladder decided to use inferior materials in the pipeline on the oil rig and skip steps in safety measures because it was too expensive otherwise. 11 people lost their lives in the 9 minutes it took for the mud to flood the rig floor as everything from the ocean backed through the pipes and faulty machines failed to do their job. The final hours of Deepwater Horizon, documented in the New York Times article of December 10, 2010, and brought to life in a movie in 2016 with Mark Wahlberg and Dylan O'Brien, shows that all of the pain and disaster could easily have been avoided. Why take decisions to risk the lives of many to enrich the lives of the few? How will this not lead to the erosion of the foundation of character and integrity? Why cut corners when it's not necessary? This brings us to the fifth quality, the quest for order. When we think order, we often think of the external, our surroundings, bringing order to an organization, a community, to our home, bringing order where there's disorder or lawlessness. But the order I want to focus on is the order of our eternal world, the order in our personal lives. Gordon MacDonald, in his book, Ordering Your Private World, says, I believe that one of the great battlegrounds of our age is the private world of the individual. There's a battle that must be fought. Wayne Mueller captures it like this: the busier we are, the more important we seem to ourselves and we imagine to others. To be unavailable to our friends and family, to be unable to find time for the sunset or even to know that the sun has set at all, to whiz through our obligations without time for a single mindful breath. This has become the model of a successful life. We need to pay attention to the state, condition, and strength of our hearts. There's a famous saying that compares the heart to a spring, and that saying says, watch over your heart, for from it flows the springs of life. Stephen Covey, who wrote the book 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, calls it the inside-out approach. Many people in their darkest, most challenging hour often buckle. They become overcome by grief, self-confidence disappears, resolve is gone. It is out of the heart that flows the energy, the insight, and the force that do not succumb to outer turbulence, but rather overcomes it. You cannot be a reformer if your inner world is not ordered, if it is not strengthened with the capacity to withstand unexpected knocks and unpleasant surprises as a result of your stand for what is right. We have to make the right choices. Are we going to order our inner worlds, our hearts, so that they will radiate influence into the outer world? Or will we neglect our private worlds and thus permit the outer influences to shape us? This is a choice we have to make every day of our lives. We must choose to keep the heart. We must choose to ensure that our private world remains ordered and in a place of strength. The 6th non-negotiable character trait, quality, is the pursuit of excellence. Excellence is the quality of being outstanding or extremely good. Excellence is a talent or quality which is unusually good and it surpasses ordinary standards. It speaks of distinction, it speaks of greatness, great value, and high caliber. We will talk more about excellence in the next lesson, which is focused on competence. You have to be good at it. Let's wait till then to take stories and life lessons. The 7th non-negotiable character trait is righteous anger and indignation. Indignation is anger aroused by something unjust, that is mean or unworthy. The dictionary definition of indignation is a feeling involving anger that is mingled with contempt or disgust. So righteous anger is considered the only form of anger which is actually not wrong, because it's anger that is against injustice and it's anger that is against wrongdoing. And I'll use the life of a reformer in action to demonstrate and illustrate this point. Her name is Dr. Obi Ezekwesili. One of her key core values is righteous indignation. She's actually one of those people that has used her anger to do very great work. She's a woman who has led a life of integrity rooted in obedience and driven by anger. She's angry at injustice, angry at corruption, angry at lack of compassion. As a special advisor to the then President of Nigeria, General Olusegun Obasanjo, she was behind a new due process mechanism, an instrument of public accountability that will enhance transparency in public finance and budgeting. She became known as Madam Due Process. Her next appointment was Minister of Solid Minerals, followed by the Minister of Education. At the end of President Obasanjo's second term in 2007, because of her competency and her character, Dr. Ezekwesili was headhunted and appointed Vice President for the World Bank's Africa region. Her anger and strong values distinguishes her. She has come to be recognized as a voice for the public good, a woman of impact, a reformer. She is known in Africa for her passion for social justice. And that brings me to a question I have for you. What are you known for? Can people vouch for your integrity and your honesty? For people to attest to these qualities in you, you need to develop the ability to stand and remain standing against all odds. It may not be easy. It requires not having a plan B if plan A does not work out. And plan B in this situation is usually the easier option, the cop-out option. It also demands that in certain circumstances, you may have to give up perceived rights and privileges. Remember, personal transformation precedes national transformation. This point is vital. Unless you are first transformed, you cannot engage with national transformation. You cannot pick up a burden for a wrong in a nation and nurture the desire to do something about it if you cannot stand without buckling under pressure. The transformation from inside is what leads to action on the outside. The change that needs to take place inside of you releases what I call the roar of the lion. The lion is called the king of the jungle, and it has 3 qualities that we as reformers should desire. The qualities of courage, boldness, and fearlessness. Grow in these qualities, and I guarantee you will stand out.